Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bianca. Today I'm going to be filming a bit of a ColourPop follow-up haul for you guys. So a couple of people did tell me that they were interested in seeing how the ColourPop products did work. And it's something I kind of wanted to film anyway to let you know, because it's something that I personally like to watch. Not many people do it, but there are a couple of YouTubers I see that do hauls and then do follow-ups, and I just find it really helpful. If anything, more helpful or like more enjoyable than watching hauls. So anyway, I'm just going to be going through all the products that I shared with you in my last ColourPop video and letting you know how they've gone for me. I've been using them for a couple of weeks now, so I do have some thoughts, some positive and some negative. So if you're interested in seeing how I feel about my ColourPop haul, then please keep on watching. Alrighty, so let's start on the blush and bronzer. So I use this in both of them in my, well, I use most of these products actually in my spring makeup tutorial. I did that the other day, and if you're interested in watching that video, I will link it below if you want to watch it. But the Noodle blush, so this one is really nice. I really do like it. I think it has a really good amount of pigmentation. I think it fills up easily. I think it lasts really well during the day. Overall, I think it is a great blush, and I've been using it pretty much non-stop ever since I got it a couple of weeks ago. So this is definitely one of my favourite things that I picked up in that haul, and I highly suggest trying it, and even any of the other blushes. So I really hope that they all have the same formula. So next of all is the In It to Win It bronzer. So it looks so dark, and I mention this every time I talked about it, but it looks literally so dark. I'm just going to grab my butter bronzer just so I can compare and like show you just how dark it looks in the pan. This is them compared. Like, it's a huge difference, massive difference. And honestly, it's just the strangest thing, because on their website they have swatches and they look so light, and I don't understand how it's so dark in the pan. So if you see this online and you want to buy it and you're similar to my skin tone, pick it up anyway. I mean, it's only cheap. There's not really much you can lose with this, but it does sheer out really easily. I saw a couple of reviews of people actually of a darker skin tone complaining because they found that they completely lost the colour and it blended out to nothing, which I can totally see happening with this. If you are a darker skin tone and you're getting this thinking that this will be a good bronzer for you, no, I think this would be a great bronzer for people that are fair, which is, it's just really bizarre. But anyway, it does sheer out very easily. When you first put it on your face, I suggest not using like a dense packing brush or anything like that, because it does stick sometimes. So if you use more of a fluffier bronzer brush and then blend it out, it blends out really nicely. It is super shimmery in the pan and when you first put it on, but it doesn't really stay very shimmery. I personally really like the bronzer. It worked really well for me, and I've been using it and reaching for it heaps since I got it. Moving on, let's talk about the highlighter. So this is just in a pan, a couple of other things because I forgot to get a single pan for this. But so this is the highlighter here, Kitty. So when I swatch it, I did in the first video, it looks pretty amazing if I'm being honest. Like, it looks really nice. It swatches pretty nicely. Like, it looks pretty reflective, but unfortunately when I put it on my skin, I feel like it takes quite a lot to build it up, which is a little bit disappointing. I think this will be a really good highlighter for people that don't like to be seen from outer space. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. So, I mean, whilst I do like it and I have been using it a little bit, I find I do need to use more of a dense highlight brush. If you've got a fan brush, I don't think it's going to work very well with this. I tried my fan brush and I couldn't see anything, unfortunately. So I do have like a large, not large, like a dome shaped dense highlighting brush that I use, and it works well. So also maybe I suggest wetting the brush to get more of a highlight if you want that. But I mean, again, for the price, I think this was only $4 or $5. It was so cheap. And I mean, there's other highlighters that I've tried that are much more expensive than that and work a lot less well. I just think because I hold ColourPop in such a high regard, especially for their highlighters, as you know, their Flexitarian Super Shock highlighter is my absolute favorite highlighter of all time. I was expecting so much for their pressed highlighters, and unfortunately I just don't think they're as good. I've got a couple of more things. So let's talk about the eyeshadows that I got. So these ones down here, ignore these up here, these are Morphe ones. But these three down here that I got, I can't remember the exact names, but I will link them down below. So I got these on my eyes today. Today's actually the first time that I've tried them, because I realised when I went to go to film this that I completely forgot to try these. So I've been meaning to, but I just kind of slipped my mind. Anyway, so I used them. The mattes are incredible, so good. Specifically this one, I just want to note, I don't have any other eyeshadows that look like this. So this is really unique for my makeup collection, and I can see myself going into this one heaps. So gorgeous. So I've got this as my transition shade. I've got this in my crease. I put a little bit of like dark eyeshadow. I actually used the Morphe ones just because they're in the pan and they were easy for me to get. I used the black and like the more Morphe one in my outer corner. And I just realised when I was using these compared to like these matte ones that these are just such good quality. The Morphe one's pale in comparison, honestly. For the price that you're paying for these eyeshadows, it's just incredible how they've achieved such a great, creamy, easy to use, blendable formula. I feel like these would be great for anyone who is trying out makeup, who is new to makeup, who is intermediate, like anyone at all. I feel like these can work so well. While saying that, I do want to talk about the Shimmer Glass, I think it's Glass Ball. I've got it on my lid today. I'm just gonna, I don't know if you can see, but it's quite patchy. And when I swatched it, it actually did come off quite patchy as well. I mean, you have to really tap into it light to swatch it, and you can barely see it. Like, it's more of a sheen if anything. It looks very similar to the highlighter. But it's very creamy to the point of it being crumbly. It does crumble, so there is a lot of fallout, so you have to be careful of that. Also, I just don't know if the effort it takes to use this is worth the payoff. If I'm being honest, I did try it both dry with a brush. I got nothing. I literally got nothing on my lids from that. And I also tried it wet, and it worked a lot better, but I did have to layer it about 3 or 4 times to really get some payoff, and it's still, I found it to be a little bit patchy and sheer. So unfortunately that was a little bit of a miss for me. I can't really see myself going for it very much, because I think it's very similar to a shadow I've got in the Huda Beauty Desert Dust palette, because it does have that purpley, silvery, goldy iridescent. That's like a Huda one. I can't remember what it is, but there is something in it like that that I find works a lot better. So complete hits for the 2 matte eyeshadows, which are the exact same formula as the other ColourPop matte eyeshadows that I have that are in this one here. So all those 4 up here are all mattes. I haven't really used that one that much, so I can't remember if it was good or not, but I can't remember it being as bad as Glass Ball. But yeah, they're very consistent with their formula. So I totally suggest picking up some matte ColourPop eyeshadows if you are going to place an order with them, because they're really affordable, and for the price, I mean, you can buy enough and create your own palette, really. How much palettes are going on sale for these days? I mean, you may as well buy some ColourPop shadows, because you know you're going to get really good quality, and just create your own. Okay, my second last product is the ColourPop Aquamarine Setting Spray, Crystal Setting Spray. So one thing you'll notice about this is that it is empty. That's not because I am obsessed with it and I've used it religiously for 2 weeks and I've already emptied it. It is because the spray on this is ridiculous, and I couldn't handle it. I really liked the smell of this. I really liked how it made my skin look. I felt like it genuinely made me so dewy. It made me dewier than probably any setting spray that I've tried, even the NYX one that I use religiously. But the spray is just so hard to get past. You can see like little droplets on your face, and I find once I put setting spray on my face, I can't really touch it until it's dried down, just because I find that it'll like lift up my foundation and stuff like that, so I couldn't really move it around, and I just saw like little droplets on my skin, which really irked me. And I did give it a couple of chances to see if maybe I could do it from a distance or like do it close, and like it was just a hot mess. So what I did was I had a couple of empty ones of these, so I just poured it into here. And I really like the sprayer on the NYX one, so I've been using it and I have been really liking it. And yeah, I do find it actually genuinely leaves me dewy, and it keeps my makeup in place pretty much all day. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about the concealers. So as mentioned in my first video, my first impression was when I swatched these that they oxidize very fast, and that's still the truth, totally. So I used Bare Neutral 10 under my eyes today. It's a really good concealer. I do like it. For $6, I honestly can't complain. It is very comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape, so if you are on a budget and or you're finding it hard to buy it if you're in Australia or if you're in another country or something like that, totally suggest picking these up, but please just be wary that they do oxidize. So maybe if you're looking at a shade, go down one, just as a good buffer. And I mean, even if you do go a little bit lighter, concealer is pretty forgiving. But the thing is, with Bare Neutral 15, I did say that I thought I could work with it, but unfortunately it's just a little bit too dark. I do have a friend in mind that I think might like this, so I might give it to her because I've only used it a couple of times. I find sometimes I'm able to use it to cover blemishes, but still it's a little bit darker than my complexion once it does oxidize, so I feel like if anything sometimes it highlights the blemish. So yeah. But other than that, I find the formula to be really nice. If anything, it's a little bit drying, and it does crease very easily. So if you're putting them on your under eyes, I suggest working one at a time. So I'll put some on, quickly blend it out, and then set it, and then work on the other eye separately. Usually I'll just put concealer everywhere, blend it out everywhere, and then put powder everywhere, but this creases so easily and dries so quickly that I really suggest working in one area at a time. But overall, I mean, there's a special place in my heart for ColourPop, and I will love them no matter what. I love ColourPop so much. I think for their price point of all their products, just their social media presence, and I don't know, just the products they bring out, they're so consistent. They're probably one of the most consistent makeup brands out there at the moment, I feel. I think a lot of their products are just reliable. I feel when you buy a ColourPop product, you know that you'll be able to work with it. And I always feel confident in buying ColourPop products just because they are affordable. And I said, well, if I'm spending $4 on an eyeshadow, if it doesn't work for me, or it's not my favorite, I'm not going to be like, well, I just like wasted 2 weeks rent on it, you know? Like, it's not that deep. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me update you on how these ColourPop products work for me. If you want to see me do more hauls and follow-up hauls in the future, please let me know by giving this a thumbs up and subscribe before you leave. So thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.